Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to offer my amendment that requires regional foresters to submit a plan on the sale of Christmas trees and firewood on federal land. Under current law, American families can purchase a permit from the Forest Service to cut Christmas trees from their favorite national forests, as well as harvest any firewood, transplants, posts, and poles, and other forest products to improve forest health. We have seen successful Christmas tree and firewood harvesting operations in my home state of Colorado, and this program has served as a locally based solution to help thin our overgrown forests. According to the Forest Service, quote, the permit system helps to thin densely populated stands of small diameter trees. Local forest health experts identify areas that benefit from thinning trees and tend to be the perfect size for Christmas trees. Removing these trees in designated areas helps other trees grow larger and can open areas that provide food for wildlife, end quote. My constituents are struggling right now as they deal with the disastrous effects of the Democrats' destructive economic policies. They unleashed record inflation on Americans that has raised utility bills, drove up energy costs, and made it harder to live for most Americans. My amendment provides an affordable fuel alternative for families across the nation to heat their homes, as well as create lasting holiday memories for families to interact with their local forests. I urge my colleagues to support my common sense amendment to prioritize collaborative forest landscape restoration program activities that allow for the removal of firewood and Christmas trees. Mr. Chair, I reserve.
Gentlewoman reserves. For what purposes? The gentlewoman from California seek recognition.
Mr. Chair, I rise to claim the time in opposition to this amendment.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
Similar to Ms. Boebert's last amendment, this amendment was summarized by Republicans as requiring the regional foresters to develop plans, in this case, the plans for the sale of Christmas trees and firewood. Once again, I would like to clarify that this amendment doesn't do that. It does not require anything of regional foresters. Instead, it requires special consideration for project proposals under the Collaborative Forest Landscape Restoration Program that seek to facilitate the sale of Christmas trees and firewood on lands under the jurisdiction of the Secretary of Agriculture or the Secretary of the Interior. The Landscape Restoration Program was not created for the sole purpose of revenue building by removing trees from public lands. The program is meant to do what it says in its program title: promote collaboration among federal land management agencies and the public for the purpose of restoring forest landscapes. Tree harvesting for anything other than the purpose of landscape restoration is not in the spirit of the program. By placing a preference on projects that are related to Christmas tree harvest, this amendment would limit the landscape restoration program by prioritizing a marketable product over landscape restoration. And to be extra clear, the Forest Service already has broad authority to conduct the sale of firewood and of Christmas trees. They don't need it under this restoration program. I urge a no vote, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman reserves. Gentlewoman from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's so sad to hear my colleagues on the other side of the aisle hate Christmas. This would allow restoration of our forests. Like I said, our forests are overgrown. This would allow a fun way for families to participate in healthy forest management by thinning some of the living trees that are overgrown on our forest lands. And Mr. Chair, I again urge the adoption of this amendment. This legislative proposal is an excellent example of how local solutions can make a big difference in managing our environment and mitigating risks. The success of Christmas tree and firewood harvesting operations in Colorado are a testament to the power of human ingenuity when it's coupled with a deep understanding of local environments and needs. These operations help to thin overgrown forests, reducing the fuel load and therefore the risk of uncontrollable wildfires. They also provide valuable resources to the local community turning what could be a negative overgrown forest into a positive holiday trees and firewood for heating. Mr. Chair, I urge adoption of the amendment in the spirit of Christmas and heating homes efficiently. I yield.
Gentlewoman from Colorado yields. Gentlewoman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chair, as a Christian, I am offended that my colleague on the other side of the aisle would suggest that I hate Christmas. This bill has nothing to do with inhibiting people from celebrating their religious holidays, including through having a Christmas tree. This amendment and this debate is about the fact that this amendment does not do what the gentlelady from Colorado claims that it does. This bill does not require regional foresters to do anything. I support the Forest Service using its existing authority to permit the harvesting of Christmas trees and trees for firewood, but that's not what this amendment actually does. I'd like to close by observing to my colleague that many of us make happy family memories with trees that are living. We have ways to enjoy trees without cutting them down or burning them. I yield back.
That was crazy MAGA Republican Lauren Boebert and the beloved Katie Porter going head-to-head about an amendment to a bill that would allow people to harvest Christmas trees off public lands for profit. And of course, like all MAGA Republicans, Lauren Boebert was trying to frame this as Democrats hate Christmas, when that was just not the case. The argument that Katie Porter was making was that we should focus this bill on landscape restoration, not making a marketable product. And I think that is reasonable, especially since the Forest Service already has broad authority to conduct the sale of firewood and Christmas trees. But this was exactly what Lauren Boebert was looking for. She loves to cause problems in Congress because she's not someone who has the best interest of the people in mind. She clearly put in this amendment knowing that it had nothing to do with the original bill on purpose. And her goal was to get a Democrat to call her out so that way she could make the claim that Democrats hate Christmas. She and other MAGA Republicans will stop at nothing to make the Democrats look bad. But here's the thing, politics is not a game. Their actions have consequences. And if we don't want these MAGA Republicans playing with our lives, then we must get out and vote them out.